Hi, it's July. I know I'm a little behind, but it's my July TBR, and I'm really excited. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a July TBR, but I was waiting, and then I waited because I wanted to be able to talk about my summer relax and read bingo, which if you are not or don't know what that is, I did have a video which I will post down below, and you can get a copy of that on my Instagram, also posted down below. And I wanted to see what the Goodreads challenges were starting July 1st and what the book of the month and my aardvark book were going to be. So now that I know all that, I can plan my TBR for the month, which I'm excited about. So come join me. First of all, what am I definitely reading? I am participating in 1 million books by Black authors on Instagram. Definitely go check that out. But it is where you promise to read you pledge to read books by Black authors. And I'm reading at least one, which I already do read at least one book by a BIPOC author every month. I'm trying to read two now to meet this pledge. But first of all, my book of the month this month did not love this month's selection. So I went with the member's favorite, which was Kin by Tayari Jones. I'm excited about that. Also, it works for two Goodreads challenges. So that's one of my books by Black authors. The other one is going to be Do What Godmother Says by Ellis Stratton. I'm really excited about this. And I'm going to be reading The Lost Daughter of Sparta, I'm doing a reading challenge from the Lynx bookstore, which is Ann Patchett's bookstore, in Gainesville, Florida. They do a book bingo, which I love, and I do it every summer. And you have to do a graphic novel, and this is a graphic novel. Sometimes I just like graphic novels. I don't count this in my count. I read 21 books in June. I'm expecting to read similar numbers, though I do have some things coming up in July. So I may read less. I'm going to do 16 books this month. Excuse me. So that being said, I'm counting Kin and Do What Godmother Says as 2. So I need to get 14 books lined up. My prompts are going to start with my summer relax and read prompts. And so let's get started. My prompts for the summer relax and read first one is read a book you've had on your shelf. And I am going to actually count this book that I am currently reading, which is We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. I've had it on my shelf. I'm reading it right now because it takes place over the 4th of July, and I wanted to read it over the 4th of July, but I've had it on my shelf since it came out, which has been a while. So We Are All Guilty Here is going to be my book I've had on my shelf for a while. So I'm not going to count that in my count because I'm currently reading it already. So still 14 books. Next one is read a book with a colorful cover. My husband took me on a surprise date last week, and he got me the Lisa Jewell It Could Have Been Her, which I'm really excited to read. Yeah. So I'm going to count this as a colorful cover. Look how pretty this cover is. One thing I forgot to do, I'm going to read the first line of this book and do what Godmother says. I always forget that. Let me do that. Okay, It Could Have Been Her by Lisa Jewell. It's about, I think, I did not love the last Lisa Jewell, I'll be honest. But I think she's back. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. This Lisa Jewell it's about this girl, and she's walking her dogs on her country estate when a small white terrier appears, with no sign of the teenage girl he'd been staying with. When she's reported missing, Jane offers to return the dog to his owner hours away in London. And she's unsettled when she goes to the house to return the dog because she has a history with this house, but it's not the man that she remembers from her past. Okay, the first line, I liked the girl. That's the prologue, excuse me. The first sentence, chapter 1. On the 8th day of May 2026, Jane Trevally does something terrifying. I did read the first couple chapters while we were at Barnes & Noble, and it was so good. Okay, so that's this one. And then for my 1 million books by Black authors from Do What Godmother Says, this, it's historical fiction, thriller, horror. And this woman is clearing out her grandmother's house, and she finds this painting. And then the artist is an ancestor of hers from the Harlem Renaissance, and she goes missing. And her patron is murdered, and she starts to dig more into this painting. It's supposed to be really, really good. I've heard about it from somewhere. I get a lot of my suggestions about books by BIPOC authors. Kayla's Bookish Vibes, who I will link down below. Love her stuff. The first line of chapter 1. Hold on, let me get there. I was on chapter 2. You could see her in the crowd, the lone figure walking at a fast clip down Lenox Avenue like she had the devil at her heels. I'm so excited for this book. Okay. So next one is read a 5-star prediction. Read a 5-star prediction. Okay. That is hard. What is a 5-star prediction for me? I have so many good library books right now too. What is a 5-star prediction on my library books? Do I want to do this? I think this one's going to be a 5-star prediction. I'm a little bit nervous to say this is a 5-star prediction, but it's The Ghost Woman. I've been really excited about it by Jennifer Murphy. And it's a historical fiction murder mystery set in 1972 with also some like witchy vibes. So the body of Abel Montague, a student at St. Luke's Institute of the Arts, is found hanging from a tree in the forest. His body is positioned in the exact pose illustrated on the Hangman tarot card found in his back pocket. It's a former monastery that he's found in, and they housed a secret order of monks who carried out witch trials. She believes they are dealing with the detective thinks they're dealing with a ritualistic murder. Let's see the first line. Not the prologue. Dead man in a forest. Okay. I think this is going to be a 5-star prediction. This is what I'm thinking. So that is 1, 2, 3 plus kin, 4. That's 4. Okay. 4. Next one is a new to me author. A new to me author. You know, I'm going to go something totally different. And this is for my Goodreads challenge books too. But I want to read the Book of Doors. It's for one of the Goodreads challenges. And it's fantasy, which I've been wanting to do a fantasy. Gareth Brown. And it's a book about books that's fantasy, which has been like right up my alley lately. Cassie Andrews works in a New York City bookstore, shelving books, making coffee for customers. Until the day one of her favorite customers dies, and she always loved his stories, and now she has nothing to remember him but the last book he was reading, which is the Book of Doors. She's approached by a stranger in a suit who keeps watch over a unique set of volumes. Cassie's being hunted by those few who know of the special books. It's about, like, it sounds good. I don't know. I can't really understand fully what it's about, but I've heard really good things. So let me read the first line. In Kellner Books on the Upper East Side of New York City, a few minutes before his death, John Weber was reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know. So for water on the cover, I'm going to do The Exiles. It is about it's about Australia, both indigenous peoples and those exiled to Australia. And for my reading challenge for the year, I have to do ones with a map, and this does have a map in it. And so I think this will count. I'm not as worried about it. Several of the ones I'm doing have a map in it, but I will read to you the first sentence. From within the depths of a restless stream, Evangeline heard a knocking. The Exiles. Okay. So that is 5 left to go. Okay. Something unhinged. Something unhinged. Unhinged. How am I going to not do... You know what? I know what I'm going to do. And it's not going to be a thriller. I have been wanting to do Six of Crows. And I feel like it's pretty unhinged. I've been wanting to read Six of Crows. I haven't read Six of Crows. So it's either that... or Dark is When the Devil Comes. Nope, Six of Crows. I've been wanting to do it. Six of Crows. Six of Crows. If you don't know, Six of Crows is, it's a heist book. But I own Six of Crows and I don't own When Dark is When the Devil Comes. I'm going to keep both. Just both options. So I'm going to tell you both options. I own Six of Crows. It's a heist book. And there's a heist. And there's a bunch of different people in this heist. And it's in the Shadow and Bone universe, which is on Netflix. I'm going to read to you the first sentence. Juiced had two problems, the moon and his mustache. And then this is a thriller, or this is a horror dark is when the devil comes. And it's also unhinged. Hazel has been gone from her small hometown of Idleness in an English countryside for years. Now returned in the wake of a traumatic divorce and a crumbling personal life, her simple plans are to lie low at her parents' vacated house, reconnect with her prickly sister, Kathy, and slowly get back on her feet. Kathy is surprised when Hazel doesn't show. The relationship strained from a fallout half a decade ago. She didn't expect them to get back into a sisterly rhythm, though she hadn't counted on Hazel bailing either. But something isn't adding up. Other people in town whisper of a threat that can't be shaken. The woods are known for being restless, and Kathy knows the old saying, if you go looking for trouble, you just might find it. I'm in hell, I think. So both of those sound pretty unhinged. I'm actually going to have both options. I feel like they're both good options. They're both options I want. 4 more left to go. Okay. So let's see here. Match my nails. My nails are like bright red. Like red, right? Like red. I have a book. Like, I could do a bunch of different bright reds with this. What should I do? I have some really good options for this. I do. I'm trying to see, do I have like a really good, don't have one there. That's a good one. I have like the perfect book, but I don't know if I want to be traumatized. Do I want to be I don't think I want to be traumatized with that book yet. Nope, I know which one. First Witch of Boston. This is like the perfect red, right? The First Witch of Boston. It's kind of supposed to be like a love story, but I've been wanting to read this for a while. And it's Massachusetts Bay Colony, 1646. It's about the Puritan community and a woman who is a little bit different. She's a healer and she's accused of being a witch. So first sentence. That's the prologue. We're going to go to the first sentence. Please, my love, this way. It's supposed to be a sweet, like, romance, but also political. Okay. I'd be okay if I threw in another thriller somewhere. I'd be okay. Okay, so that's 4 left. 4. A repeat author. Okay, a repeat author. You know, a repeat author. I really have been wanting to do this book. Like, really badly. Is this the first one? No, this is the second one. I think this is the first one. I've been wanting to read this book. And by Geneva Rose, Dead Woman Missing. It is one of her first, before she got really popular with like A Perfect Marriage. She wrote this series, Detective Kimberly King. And I don't have a good like detective novel. I mean, I do have a historical fiction detective novel. But I want to do this detective novel. I've been wanting to do it. It's, she's a detective and she leaves her job in New York with her daughter. She's a single mom to go to Dead Woman Crossing, and she teams up with the sheriff, and it's a crime thriller. And I feel like this is kind of giving the vibe I want to give of a detective mystery. First sentence. As the tires slammed on the hot asphalt, Detective Kimberly King instinctively positioned her arm in front of her 16-month-old daughter, bracing her. Yes, this is what I want. Okay. 3 left. Let's see. A strong, brave woman. A strong, brave woman. Strong. I'm going to do The Quiet Librarian. This one's been calling out to me. She was during the Bosnian Serbian War, and she was an assassin, and then she came to America and hid as a quiet librarian, and now her past has come back to bite her. First sentence. The man steps through the door and into the library. No coat, despite the late spring rain. This is more strong, brave women. I'm just like trying to pigeonhole too hard into these TBRs. I'm probably going to keep the London Seance Society, not going to lie. Be honest. Book you can't remember what it's about. I do have these. I have to be honest. I do have these in my life. And it's sad. It's sad that I have this, but I do. Um, I remember this is about a serial killer and I wanted to read it, but that's all I remember. So I'm going to do this one. I know it comes widely recommended by the Pastel Bookshelf, which I will link down below. That's what I remember. I don't remember anything else about this. I might be totally wrong. I'm going to say that that's what it's about. Yeah, I think it's a serial killer. Okay, I'm going to read the first sentence to help me remember myself. I'm getting a little tired. Tilly Bradshaw had a problem. Yeah, I have a problem too. I don't remember this book. I think it was highly recommended though. Listen, I have some really good books. I really need some London Science Society. Most recent haul video. You know what? I don't remember what was in my most recent haul video. I really don't. So I'm going to go do a different one. I don't remember which one was in that. Book you can't... That's the one I just did. These cards are getting everywhere, and it's making me a little bit crazy. Library book. I can do this one. Oh, look what I picked. I really, really want to read this book. Okay, I'm just doing 2 more books, and then I'm calling it. I think that's where I'm at, and that's plenty for the month. Then I'm calling it. I'm done. A BIPOC author. I already picked several BIPOC authors. I know that. So I am going to also do Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. Though I might get The Scammers. Actually, I'm going to get The Scammers by Tiffany D. Jackson from the library because I've been wanting to read that. Yeah. And save this one for another month. Because I have some seriously emotional books right now. And that one's going to kill me. I think I'm going to do The Scammers. Okay. I want a pretty cover. And I think that's going to be my last one. A pretty cover. What's a pretty cover? I have some seriously pretty covers. This will be my last one, so I want it to, like, really count. You know, like... I feel like that's a lot like... I was going to do this one, but I feel like that's a lot like the Book of Doors already. I'm going to do this one, The Foursome. I feel like this cover is really pretty. Christina Baker Klein. This is about conjoined twins in the 1830s, and they marry sisters in North Carolina. Despite the extravagance of Fanny's lace wedding gown ordered from France, the profusion of pink peonies grown in a side garden for the occasion, and the 300-pound hog turning on a spit, all anyone could talk about were the twins from Siam. And you know what? I feel like I've got a good selection. I'm really excited. I think I've got a good selection. I'm very happy with my selection. I'm good to go. I'm tired. We're going to count all this. So anyway, this is my July TBR. Any books surprise you? Any books that you loved? Any books you hated? Any books I need to add? Did any of my prompts you feel like didn't fit? Let me know down below. And remember, always bring a book.